Mr. Matt, it was awesome having you on this show, man. I enjoyed our conversation and I'm excited that everyone else gets to listen to it. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody, and have a great rest of your day. Cheers.
Because all of this could be part of our, all of it could be part of our podcast.
Sorry.
So all of this could be part of the podcast.
It is now.
Absolutely. You want to do the introduction?
Yeah, happy to. So I'm really excited about this. We met over in Orlando at a Ray Higdon event, and it was so cool talking with you because I know when we first interacted, I was like, I like your tattoo, and you have this really sick neck tattoo. It's basically, yeah, that one. And I was like, rad, man, like tell me about that. And then we got into this story about your back, and I was like, whoa. So I think what would be really cool is to dig into your story, because I feel like that'll catch everybody up to kind of like we're all on the same page, so to speak.
Yeah. So you said, we met at the Faith Over Fear event in Orlando. I live in Houston, so I was traveling for the event. I was invited by my friend Ricky Durant, who is in the network marketing space, has been for about 10 years or so, and he really was excited for the event. I had no idea what I was saying yes to. I just said yes, and I was like, cool, man, if you like it, I like it, I'm good.
Okay.
We'll just kind of see what transpires. And it ended up being an amazing event. I met you, and we had this pretty quick but conversation. But I mean, we hit so many points in like, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, right? Yeah. So I am a huge metalhead. I love metalcore. It really just kind of started when I was a kid. I was really into rock music, have kind of transpired into, it's kind of went from rock to punk to like Irish metal, and then to metalcore. And I've got such an eclectic mix on my Spotify. I mean, I've got everything from gangster rap to rock to country to metalcore shit you can't understand. A lot of the just hitting a lot of it. The rap, dude, I can't get down with.
Okay.
But
Sure.
Old school gangster rap, 90s Tupac and all of that. I've got the tattoo. My girlfriend Katie and I were driving around like on a Friday night, bro, and we were just like, what are we gonna do? We didn't want to go to a bar. We didn't want to just, sit at a bar and drink. We didn't really want to go home.
Okay.
And I was like, screw it. Let's go get tattoos. She goes, really? What are we gonna get? I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
We just pulled up to the neighborhood tattoo parlor, and she got a couple of things for her friend on her arm, and I got both of my behind my ear tattoos.
Sick.
So I've got the metal horns, which is synonymous in our metal community. And then I'm a huge baseball fan, so I've got a D-backs tattoo on the other side.
Nice.
So it was pretty rad meeting you, and it's funny that that's what caught your eye.
I like that.
Are you a huge metalhead too, or what?
And I've been listening to music for a long time. I love music ever since I grew up. Like I had a family member that played in a band. Yeah, it was just a part of my life. And fortunately, I had my brother, which influenced some of my music taste. My other family members influenced some of my music taste. And then skateboarding was like probably the biggest influencing factor. And the cool thing about that is on skating videos, they don't just play one genre. Like they find a cool song that matches for what is occurring. So sometimes you're going to hit black metal. Sometimes you're going to hit the Allman Brothers. And it's not like all of the Allman Brothers
such an eclectic mix.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And it's not like all of the Allman Brothers is great, but they have like one particular song that I'm always stoked on.
which is
I'd have to get the name of the song actually. It's
okay.
I'm trying to remember. I think the song is about taking it to the streets.
Okay.
Like taking it to something like that. But
No
yeah,
idea. No
yeah.
idea.
I mean, I can name off a few of the bands like Motorhead was included in there,
Oh yeah,
and that's how I got introduced to Motorhead was just from skating, and
from skate
I
videos.
mhm. Yeah, for sure. I didn't know some of the names of the music or the band for like so long, but then I would hear it on the radio. I'm like, what's who I know what skate video
Yeah.
that's in, what part, like what song is that? Because that's a great song.
Right, right. And that's huge for I mean word of mouth is huge for the metal industry because I
Mm,
mean we don't get played on the
right.
radio a lot. It's all the mainstream rock and country and all that stuff. So black metal stuff that you'd find on all of those skate videos, dude, that's never on the radio.
Yeah.
So that's the only way that some of those bands kind of got their start. Big buddy of mine, DJ Stewart, has made some skate videos and
Sick.
has been on some skate videos. And you know, I was back in the '90s, I was growing up in Vegas, and our school was always skaters or gangsters, right? And I was always in the middle. I kind of hung out with everybody. Like I never was set on one side, and that's just kind of how I've always been throughout my life, right? I've
Yeah.
never had just one set group of people. I've just
Uh-huh.
kind of always floated around because I can have a lot of things in common with, or find things in common
Hmm.
with everyone,
Hmm.
most everyone. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So I never thought that I just kind of fit in one niche of people. I've just always kind of floated around. So that's where the gangster rap and that's where the punk music came in. You know, I'd be blasting some Tupac, and then the next minute I'm blasting like No Effects and Misfits. You know what I
Rad.
mean?
That's sick.
Yeah,
That's sick. How, and so I'm curious, like coming back to this Ray Higdon event and stuff like that, which sounds
yeah,
like you really enjoyed. How did you
I
meet your
did.
friend?
My friend Ricky
Mhm.
Durant, he's friends with a guy that I was in the military with. So
Oh
I
wow.
was in the Navy,
Hmm.
and a buddy, no idea who the guy was at the time, but my friend Derek lived in Texas, was from Texas,
Mm,
and we became friends when we were out in Iraq.
wow.
And when we came home from Iraq, we started hanging out at his house and just doing crazy you know parties and everything as you do in the military, just hammering beer bongs and just getting shit housed all the time on the weekends.
Hmm.
We really kind of struck up a pretty strong friendship, and um, he stayed in Texas. I went back home to Vegas, and I was just kind of working, not doing a whole lot. Moved to Arizona, same thing. Had a baby, and was kind of in a spot in my life that I needed some direction. I needed
Mm,
to really kind of get over the hump of working two jobs, you know what I
right.
mean? And my friend Derek hit me up and he's like, "Dude, come to Texas."
Mm,
My other friend Brian was also in Texas. He's like, "Dude, we've got an oil and gas industry out here
wow.
that's booming. It's huge." They said, "Come out here and try it out."
Mhm.
I said, "Bet, I'm down."
Okay.
So that's really where the move to Texas happened
Mm,
about 11 years ago. It has been, this is really, seems like it's a little blurry.
mm. I can see it.
Okay. So I moved to Texas, and Ricky and I became friends through Derek. Derek hung out with Ricky, and Ricky is a an immigrant from Puerto Rico.
Wow.
And basically we became friends through another friend. And when my friend died, when Derek died, um, I did all of the benefit and his funeral and all of that stuff.
Wow.
Kind of helped set all of that up for the family, and um, Ricky and I just have stayed friends through that. I've
Mm,
watched him build through the network marketing space and watched him kind of create this industry and his own business into multi-million dollar business. And so he invited me to this event, and he's like, dude, you're new to the network marketing industry. He goes, you've
mm,
got to be here. I
mm.
said, okay. He goes, now there's a catch. It's on Halloween. I said, I can take a Halloween off, bro. I said, whatever it is, if you think I need to be there, I'm there.
Okay. Wow.
And I mean, it was life changing. Still has it has a great lingering effect. How did you like it?
So I always enjoy the events. I guess what I knew about Ray 10 years prior to this event, I studied
Oh
his
wow.
material.
Hmm.
I have a very specific idea in mind of who Ray is and what he talks about and what he teaches. And I was always following him for the business advice and coaching
Hmm.
and to be in that sort of realm. And I respect and value his decision to pursue I mean, I think we can both agree that he's turning it towards the religious and more, I'm not sure if it's Christian, but definitely God orientated
Right.
sort of
Hmm.
faith, his
Faith
faith
for sure.
based,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good way to put it, sort of pivot. And I think that has some cool aspects to it because even as he was talking about it and they were kind of going through some of their events and what they were referring to, it's like having the faith over, like being, so faith is above
Hmm.
and fear is below that. And I was like, wow,
Yeah.
okay, that's powerful. And kind of that whole viewpoint of walking with the Lord and that sort of thing is pretty impactful because I feel like it's kind of hard to, be it's not a solo journey. And I think when having that viewpoint of kind of acceptance towards what direction am I going to take, then I think it can have some better benefits for it because oftentimes it's like I'm not alone, I'm not struggling, I'm not having difficulties. It's like, okay, I just need to like stay on this path.
Yeah. Yeah. And knowing that you're not alone, that there's a higher power, whether you believe or not, is really not necessary.
Mm,
Knowing that, you've got people that do believe in you,
mhm,
and knowing that you're not alone, I think is huge too.
mhm, mhm. That's awesome.
I listened to your podcast on Blue Box and
Oh,
kind of got
rad.
a little bit of yeah, it was super super cool. I got to kind of hear your story
Hmm.
of your homeless to homeowner. So that was pretty crazy, huh? That
Yeah.
you you basically have come from or built yourself into from nothing to something, and hearing that you listen to Ray Higdon, whether you believe in God or not, I mean, you've got to know that someone is looking out for you.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good viewpoint to have. I mean, and I like the way you're saying that too, even if it's not like one specific deity, then it's like, it's there is a godlike presence, I feel like. And I don't have any statistics to back this or not, but I feel like I've been under the influence that there's an agreement that there is, other people also think that as well. But I
Right.
know the term atheist exists for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Well,
I firmly believe that there's a higher power,
cool.
and I don't take it to the extreme, because I think being extreme in anything is a little bit weird.
Wow, I like that. Yeah.
I think anybody that takes politics super seriously, if you're not a politician, I think it's weird. And
They're definitely
you,
on the right path.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead. Mm.
Well, I think anybody that takes religion to an extreme is
Mm.
is definitely. definitely weird too.
Mm-hmm.
I love that Ray talks about incorporating that into his business practices and his daily life. And if that works for you, great. If it doesn't, then that's fine too.
Mm.
His business mantra and his just leadership is incredible. Being able to follow or even build on some of the things that he teaches can be powerful for you.
Yeah. What kind of things do you feel like help in that arena or way?
um I haven't listened to too much of Ray Higdon, but really one person that stood out from that event for me was Rob Sperry. He really was powerful to me.
Hmm.
Uh, he had this saying that said, "Die with memories, not dreams."
Wow.
And if you think about that, everybody has dreams, right?
Of course.
Everybody has aspirations to become something. Nobody wants to just say, ah, I dream to be a piece of shit the rest of my life, or I dream that, but you have these dreams and aspirations, and making that jump to make that a reality is huge. It's something that I've strived to do. I've been at the bottom. I haven't been homeless,
Mm.
but I have been fighting tooth and nail to from losing my job to
Mm.
being down to my last dollars for paying rent and whatever else and bills and whatnot. So really the drive and really kind of what nailed it for me was his ability to take his own world and his
Mm.
own life and tie it into becoming a better person and inspiring other people.
Hmm.
He talked about losing his 16 or his little brother, his 10-year-old brother when he was 16.
Oh.
And what he said was, it was the best day of my life. And
Hmm.
imagine saying that, right? Imagine saying that out loud
Wow. Yeah.
and other people being like, "What? Hold on. What?" And
How
he's like,
horrible was this person? No,
correct, right? And he's like, it wasn't that it was the worst day of my life. It was the best day of my life because it led me to be the person I am today.
Wow. Okay.
It led me to Christ. It led
Mm.
me to believe in myself that I
Mm.
can get through anything. Shit, if I
Mm.
can lose my little brother and get through that, I can get through anything. Anything,
Mm.
anyone throws at me, I can get over and I can
Hmm.
become a better person.
Wow.
And that hit home, dude. That hit so deep and I thought it was so powerful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
What
mean,
is
I've
it?
I've I've
Sorry.
had a lot of struggles, so
Mhm.
that's why it hit home.
That makes sense. What is it about the Ray Higdon event that you particularly like? Like I know Rob Sperry, but what else helped you in what way?
I think the camaraderie, the networking, the
Mhm.
talking to people. I love chatting with people. I can make small talk with animals. My daughter has a video of me talking to the animals at the Houston rodeo. She was just laughing. I'm completely sober, just having conversations. It's so that meeting people with the kind of that same mindset of I'm here, but I want to be here, or I'm way up here,
Mhm.
but I want to help people
Mm.
from the bottom and help them get to the top.
Yeah.
I thought was super powerful.
Mm.
Getting to meet people from all over the states. There was even some Mennonites in there. Did you
Yeah, I
see
saw
them?
that. Yep.
That was wild to me. I'm like, the Amish community is in the network marketing space. Like, how cool is that? People that don't necessarily believe in electricity but believe in networking, I thought was super powerful.
Yeah.
It was pretty incredible.
Wow.
Getting to hear Jessica and Ray talk every day at lunch was pretty cool.
Mm. Mhm.
I mean, seemed like super down to earth people. Didn't seem like they were too good to have a conversation with anybody. I thought that was pretty incredible. But that would be my biggest takeaway from the event was being able to talk to people, from all walks of life, man, and
Oh
getting
wow.
to hear everybody else's story. There's everybody that came up there had a different story and how they either came to God, came to their faith, or even just overcame the shit struggle. And now they're up on stage talking to people to help other people.
Yeah.
That's my biggest drive is to impact as many people and be as positive as I can for as many people as possible. I mean, it's super powerful.
Nice. I love that. I love that. That's cool, man. And so from what I'm gathering, you also got into the network marketing space.
I did.
How long
I
ago?
did. I'm brand new.
Mhm.
September.
Seriously?
Yeah, yeah. So what is this? A couple of months later, um, my friend Ricky that I had talked about,
Yeah.
I've watched him build this into a, multi-million dollar company.
Hmm.
He had left one company,
Okay.
started a second company. The first company decided to go public and be publicly traded, and they really, from a investor perspective, kind of started tanking, started mixing with a lot of the formulas that made them a multi-million dollar company.
Mm.
And so he jumped off of that and started another company called Bravenly Global, and it's a
Started
faith
is then he started like he made it
helped
himself.
he helped a lady named Aspen Emery created the company. It's a faith-based company, and that was a lot of the reason that we were invited by
Mm.
Ray to come to this event. And he has helped bring it from, $100 business to $1 million business. I've watched Ricky bring two companies now from low to high. I've never had the right person by my side to be able to build with. I've had my daughter. I've raised my daughter by myself for the last about 5 years. She's now in college. She just went to college. What was that? August. So September, I called Ricky, and he had given me some samples of the products and the supplements, and I've got a beer gut, and I told Ricky, I said, dude, I've got to get my beer gut in line. He goes, man, try this supplement, see
Hmm.
what you think. So I
Hmm.
did, and I felt great, and I could feel a difference. I was like, cool, man, I'm in. And I called him up. I didn't tell my girlfriend until we were fixing to leave the house.
Okay.
And I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go talk to Ricky. I'm gonna sign up with him,
Mm.
and do you want to come? I'd love it if you came with me." And she goes, "Sure, yeah, of course, I'll go with you." She had no idea what what was fixing to happen, what we were even talking about.
Yeah.
And so I signed up, and we've been running it together
Oh,
for
wow.
2 months.
Dang. How's it going?
Going pretty well, to be
Wow.
honest. We've been able to hit a couple of bonuses in the first 2 months, and really are starting to see momentum. So
Nice.
it's a health and wellness business, and it's all naturopathic. So it's really about mind, body, spirit, you as a whole person.
Mm.
So everything that we have in our products are all doctor formulated. It's all holistic. So
Hmm.
there's no synthetics, there's no crap in there. There's stuff for your mood, there's stuff for there's nootropics, which
What
is for
are
mental clarity.
okay.
Yeah, so nootropics are organic mushrooms like
Nice.
lion's mane and
Cool.
reikishi mushroom and all this stuff. And I mean, there's thousands of articles you can read online about nootropics.
Hmm.
And I have ADD in the morning, and my ADD goes crazy if I have some some mushroom coffee, and it helps me calm down, and really
Hmm.
just helps my my mental clarity.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. Do you guys have an amino acid based product?
Did you say amino acid based?
Hmm.
I don't know. I'll have to look.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you know what amino acids are? Sorry if.
No.
Oh, okay, so amino acids are the bill. So there's protein, right? There's like you can think of
Right?
meat and dairy, like cottage cheese is technically protein. It really isn't.
Okay. It's like sour milk with kernels in it.
You're not going to get
Yikes.
like the funny thing is people think when they eat a protein based food that they're getting protein, but there's actually
Hmm.
there's an underlining reason why that doesn't happen. So amino acids, like when someone like eggs are one of the best sources of protein that someone can get because it provides amino acids for your body.
Yeah.
Like cottage cheese, for example, doesn't provide very many amino acids. It's like 0.01. I could say, for example, that's not
Right.
accurate.
Okay.
But eggs, for example, provide like 50 they provide like 8 of those needed amino acids for your body to ingest and utilize and be able to say like, oh wow, I'm doing better, which is why
Yeah.
there's like some vegans that eat eggs and they do okay because they're eating eggs. As soon as they cut eggs out and they're like, I'll get my protein from
It's,
vegetables, it's like there's actually only
that's
like,
not how that works.
right, and there's only like, but what's interesting is there's like 15% of society that can live off of vegetables. Like their body just converts the amino acids in vegetables so that their body can utilize it, which is why you see some people really thrive on a vegan-based diet. It's
Hmm.
because they're like one of those 15% people, which isn't
That's a
for
wild
everyone.
statistic.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that wasn't something I figured out. Like Dr. Minkoff wrote a book called Search for the Perfect Protein,
Okay.
and he talks about this specific thing. And so I'm sorry that I mentioned the word, but the amino acids you can get them as as an individual product. And so I was just was wondering if the company that you guys work with provides amino acids, because like hands down those especially if it's like from better sourced ingredients and stuff like that, that's like something worth taking a look at, that's for sure.
Yeah, we have a protein powder. It's called Bravenly Fit Fuel, and it's got a list of proteins in there. It has
Yeah.
a just a lot of gut health.
Okay.
And if you know anything about the human body, you know that most of your ailments come from having poor gut health. So a lot of our products are focused on gut health and stuff like that. So um, I am not the like I talked to you about earlier, like
Okay.
taking anything to an extreme. We have those people in our community and in our business that just dive headfirst into
Wow.
all of the ingredients and
Okay.
you know what every ingredient is and the breaking down the minutes of it. And I look at the ingredients, make sure that it is impactful to my body and can be helpful to somebody like yourself saying, I need more protein. I don't eat eggs, bro. They are disgusting to me.
I got it. No, I
Dude,
understand.
I
Completely
could
understand.
cook them. I cook them for my girls any way they want them. I can
Yeah.
throw down on the stove, but dude, I cannot fork to mouth with eggs, bro. It's
Fair.
awful. It's awful to be
Do what you
chicken
do.
cum. I just can't eat chicken cum, dude.
You're
Chicken
funny.
ovaries. That's
Not
so
down
cute.
with it. Mhm.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
it's
funny.
been I mean it's been such a different healthy lifestyle for me.
Hmm.
I've been on the supplements now for 2 months in
Okay.
September. We're going on the end of November now, so it's been about 2 months. And I quit drinking during the day, or
Wow,
during the
great.
week, I mean. So I would come home and, you know, from work and I have a day job too. I work in the safety industry. So I would come home from work, crack a beer while I made dinner,
Mhm.
and then have another beer with dinner.
Mm.
And taking these supplements, man, I don't even crave beer.
Good.
I
That's
really
awesome.
have to, I really have to have a reason to drink now. I drink water. I would drink some of our hydration products. I drink
Great.
our energy products. So beer isn't even on the list. It used to be coffee, water, beer all day, every day. That was the exact steps of my day of liquids, right? It was coffee in the morning, beer in the or water in the afternoon, beer at night, and that was my life for ever,
Yeah.
or as long as I can remember. And taking these supplements, we'll have maybe one day a week, or on the weekend, I mean, where we'll go out and have some drinks with friends and all of
Sure.
that stuff, but it's not a daily occurrence anymore. Just like I told
Mm.
you, I got this beer gut, man. I've got to I've got to get in line. It's kind of like this hairline, man. I've got to figure out this hairline,
You're
but
funny.
it's part of my insecurities. It's seeing breaking down myself and needing to feel confident
Mm.
in my own skin, and I mean confident in my own looks and everything else, and my my hair has always been one of them, dude.
Wow.
As I've gotten to be an adult, my beer belly was getting to be too much. That's why I was like, I need a change, bro.
No, that's good. I'm glad you can make that decision and see it like that's something that I've always questioned about is like how someone continues to just see that there's a noticeable change, see that there's a noticeable problem, and still just being like, don't like
Just
I
write it off. Yeah,
yeah, just
fuck
write
it.
it off. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think someone explained it to me once, like, yeah, they just neglect what's going on. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see that being a thing.
Neglect what's going on, meaning that they recognize the problem but take no action to fix it.
Yes.
Man, oof, that's rough. Can you imagine I mean, being someone like that? I can't. If I see a problem, dude, I'm a natural man. I gotta fix it.
Yeah, 100%.
I have my lazy days, sure, but as far as anything goes for action, I've gotta fix it, dude. And that's why my beer belly, it was getting out of hand. I'd feel bloated all the time, and
Sure.
my belly was hard, and it just
Yep.
wasn't. Dude, you start getting in the shower, and you can't see your toes anymore. You're like, bro, something's gotta change.
That's good. I'm glad you can have that viewpoint.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that help you with your entrepreneurial path?
Leadership,
Cool.
mentorship. I have no idea in what I'm doing. None. I mean, I've never done network marketing.
Mm,
My grandma loves to tell this story that I've never met a stranger, right? We'll be in an elevator, I'll make friends with somebody. So having people in my life that are positive is huge to me. I cut out a lot of people that are just negative and negative energy. I don't care who you are. We can get into it later, but I mean, I've cut off some family members because they're
seriously?
just, oh yeah, bro, draining. Their energy is draining. They're negative all the time. I can't be around people like that, dude. It's not good for me,
Yeah.
and it's not good for my own well-being and my mentals. Having somebody like my friend Ricky, other leaders and mentors that I can go to, like my friends. I call my dad when I need some advice, when I need some fatherly, time, and
Yeah.
if I have problems with my teenager,
Mhm.
I call my dad. I call who's my stepmom, but she's my dad's wife, and I've known her since I was 15. I call her my mom. my biological mom, I cut off. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, bro, for necessary reasons. Something I've never talked about publicly, but this event, the Faith Over Fear event, kind of
Mhm.
coming full circle, really put it on my heart to talk about my childhood abuse, and my
Wow.
upbringing. So we can get into that, but yeah, so back to your question
Hmm.
of who, what helps me in my entrepreneurial, it's got to be leadership, dude. I'm new at this. I've never done it before. So asking people, we have a lady on our team. Her name is Candy. Her and her husband, David, are solid people. We have, a whole community of people that, new and experts
Hmm.
and everywhere in between. So there's a community of people that I can call on at any time and be like, hey, I've got a question. Hey,
Mm.
what are you doing to see yourself get better, your company get better?
Cool.
So that's been huge.
I like that.
Being able to build, leaning on people that have more experience than me. I
Yeah.
feel like that's life, right?
And people who are speaking from like an authority sort of viewpoint too, because they have the results in what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah. How about you? Do you other than Ray, who do you kind of look for leadership like that?
That kind of leadership,
Yeah,
I'm
business
pick.
leadership.
I'm super picky. Oh yeah, like I'm if for like my I could have a whole conversation on who I choose to listen or not listen to, and I get like very hard on myself about it.
Okay.
And
Because you
uh,
don't have an open mind or you feel like you should or what?
no, it's because if I don't see that person as successful enough in what I'm trying to pursue, then it's kind of like listening to your broke friends or listening to seriously,
Yeah,
just
listening
or
to a crackhead tell you
yeah,
how to get off
yeah,
crack. Yeah.
exactly. It's like,
Right.
uh-huh. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I get even more specific to it where the point where it's like I I need to see the results. I can't just have them talk
100%.
about it. And so for me, I think like Ray is actually really good in terms of advice with that kind of stuff. Grant Cardone is marvelous. And part of the thing is like, I don't necessarily agree with all of Grant Cardone's theories or how he lives or his viewpoints on everything, but because he's been a salesperson and because he's closed so many deals years
Sure.
after year after year after year, and after looking at his information, I'm like, I'm gonna apply his stuff.
Right. Yep.
So
Makes
it,
sense.
yeah. So it more follows along the lines of having that level of results first,
Hmm.
and then I'll start taking your words for advice, sort of thing. So that's just my viewpoint.
Yeah, he did that undercover
Billionaire.
millionaire. Yeah. He he was able to build, in what was it, 30 days or 60 days or something, being able to take a business from start to finish and sell it and for $1 million. Like, that's proven results. It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get that part of it.
Hmm.
Now, reality TV, a lot of it I'm sure is staged and whatnot, but I
Of
feel like there was some authenticity to it.
yeah. I mean, I think I watched the like I didn't really watch the show like a whole lot. Maybe I'm trying to think if I did watch the show or not, but I mean like he had to go
I
through
watched
shaving.
snippets of it, yeah.
Oh yeah, he went through shaving his head and like the moments where he's like getting off the plane and only having a blanket and trying to be very conservative about his hundred
Yeah.
dollars and like cashing it at the bank and then going to people and then like and he did that specifically so he could say like yeah where do you get your money from oh it's at the bank it's like all of my $100 is at the bank.
That's, I mean, it doesn't matter if you got $1 or $100 if you got it all at the bank.
All at the bank.
Yeah, and that's that's part of my
Hmm.
growth is reading and learning how to invest my time wisely. One of the things that was said at that event, the Faith Over Fear event, was
Hmm.
spend more time doing monetary creating, producing activities. So things that will make you money, spend more time doing. Spend more time making those connections with people. Life is all about that, about
Hmm.
creating relationships and building those relationships, and not just for business purposes, but because that's who we are as humans, right? Is we thrive on those relationships, and whether it's everything from sexual to business. I mean, you know, friendships are a relationship, business partnerships are a relationship, so partners are a relationship. Everything is a relationship with people. Being able to really build yourself and have that ability to continue those relations and build those relationships is really where people start to see your credibility, believe in you, and want to build with you. And I think that's where a lot of people may need to focus their time on. That's where I need to focus my time on. We don't need to know everything about our products. We don't need to know every minute, ingredient. Be able to send them to the person that does, or send them
Yeah.
to the ingredient list. That's where I come in. Hey, I know a guy, or I don't know the answer, but I can get you the answer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that builds your credibility, and
Hmm.
that builds that rapport, and being able to follow up, take action.
Hmm.
Well, don't just tell somebody you're gonna follow up. Actually, frickin' do it.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure. I
if
agree
you
with that.
blow somebody off, that's the last time that they're gonna want to talk to you.
Yep. I think you're right.
I mean, if you we set up our podcast call the day you and I met, right? We were
Yeah.
in the hallway. You're like, "Hey, how does this day sound?" I was like, "Bro, absolutely. Yeah, I'm down."
Uh,
And then what would have happened if I wouldn't have answered your phone call? That would have been the last time you ever called, right?
I don't know. I
You might have
that
followed
specific.
up one time.
Yeah. No, I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm really bad about that. Like I'm so bad at it to the point where, but no, I think you're right. I think you're right in most cases. Yes.
Yeah. Once somebody kind of loses their credibility with you, bro,
Yeah.
that's it. It's hard to get back.
Yes. Yes.
Like trust. I mean, you have to trust the person that you're wanting to build with, and you want to make sure that they can trust you too. So it's two-way street.
I agree.
And that's really what has built me into the person I am, and helped build my relationships. And I think that's why I am so easily able to cut people off, is because I don't trust what they can say. I don't trust that
Oh,
they can
wow.
they can
Wow.
help me become a better person, or I can help them become a better person, because if I can't trust what you're saying, dude, I have nothing to talk to you about. Trust is huge.
It's true. Wow. I didn't think it like that. Yeah, no, that's a valid point. How did you end up getting like that? Just out of curiosity. What caused that to start become a thing?
My childhood abuse.
Okay.
Um, I had to rely on my sister, and my sister and I are 11 months apart, and we had our bedrooms across from each other.
Okay.
And we lived at home in Vegas. Not the best place to raise your children. Like, I would never raise my kid in Vegas, knowing some of the shit I did.
Yeah.
But my mother worked I'm going to call her my mother because that's my biological mom, and saying biological is too long every time. So my
Yeah.
mom is the one that my dad is married to now, the one that I met and when I was 15, and really helped me become the person I am, the man that I am. My biological mother was a cocktail waitress at one of the casinos. I've never been able to confirm that she had some sort of drug problem. She wasn't a
Mhm.
drinker, but some of her crazy bipolar tendencies, man, it just there's nothing else really that makes sense. I never saw her use drugs, but growing up and now where I am today, there's no way that it wasn't, unless there was, she was a head case, bro. And I would come home from school and I mean closed fist punch me in the face. If I said anything wrong, if I
Wow.
if I if I didn't eat my dinner, all the everything on my plate, it was a closed fist punch in the face. From the
Wow.
time I was about, I think she started using a closed fist when I was about 8 years old.
You're saying
Because
closed fist, you mean like
punching,
in
yeah,
the head?
it
Okay.
was open. It was open hand um, until probably I was like 7 or 8. And then I kind of hit a growth spurt.
Okay.
So I must have been tall enough to be able to take a grown woman's punch. So it was brutal, dude. It was
Mm.
um, a lot of abuse daily. And my dad was in town, but I was never allowed to see him until I was about 10 years old. And I was always scared of really telling him what was going on, almost that victim mentality and being scared of the person that was abusing me.
Mm.
Because for a little while, I just thought it was normal. So eighth grade comes around, and I got in trouble for smoking pot and at school, and got kicked out of school for I think it was like a week.
Okay.
And she takes me to my parole officer, my probation officer, not parole, probation officer.
Mm.
And I mean, in the car ride to that probation officer office, I was the worst person alive. I shouldn't be alive. She should kill me, all this shit,
Oh
just
my
motherfucking
gosh.
me up and down the road. And I'm, 14-year-old kid. I'm
Wow.
stupid. And when we got home, she came around my bed and I was packing my bags and I told her I was gonna leave, I was gonna go move with my dad, and she came around my bed, and I had a water bed at the time. This is, the 90s. We had water beds. So she comes around my water bed, bro, and just sticks me straight in the eye with a closed fist. She had
Oh
she
my
had a
gosh.
ring on her finger and jumped on top of me and started choking me.
Wow.
And my sister came in from her bedroom because it was across the hallway, so she comes running in. I kick my mother off of me, and my sister calls the cops. Cops come, and I've got choke marks and bruises all on my throat,
Okay.
all on my neck. I had, black eye from where she punched me with a ring.
Wow.
The worst part of it, Ian, is this bitch spent one night in jail,
Wow.
and that's it. Our justice system failed. From that day on, I never talked to her again.
Wow.
And my sister continued to live with her, so I would come over when she was at work, and my sister and I would hang out and everything. And we just never conversated until my daughter was born.
With your mom, or what do you mean?
With my mother. Yeah, I
Wow.
never conversated with her after she went to jail for beating me. And because that's a negative situation,
For
it's
sure.
it's negative energy. And so when my daughter was born, I was like, I'll give her another chance to be a good grandma. She's not. I love you too. My girlfriend's leaving, sorry. So she goes, shit, I forgot where I was going with that story.
You stopped seeing her, police were
Oh
involved, got your
yeah,
daughter
so so my
released.
daughter so my daughter was born,
Yep.
and I told her I wanted her to be a good grandma, and so I gave her a second chance. We were at Thanksgiving in Vegas, and uh, she said something about my wife at the time, something super rude, bro. I don't even remember what it was. It
Mm.
was about the way that she did my daughter's hair. My daughter's like a year old at the time,
Okay.
and I blacked out. I blacked out. The rage in my head, I blacked out. And had my older brother not been there, I probably would have beat this bitch to a pulp. I probably would have done some things that I regretted.
Sure.
And she is the only person in this whole world that can put me there
Mm.
at that rage level so quickly. So my brother got in between us, and that was the last time that I ever talked to her because
Wow.
I knew that if I saw her, I would be put in that position again. And if nobody was there, I don't know what would have happened. I
Sure.
would have went to jail for at least assault. And that's not healthy. That is, that's a person that I had to cut off from my daughter, had to cut her off from myself.
Okay.
And long story to answer your question is that trust. That's where I have to trust myself, knowing my limits and
Mm.
and knowing what's going to help me be a better person. Getting through the abuse was easy. The physical is easy. Black eyes go away, man. The marks, I don't have marks on me anymore, but I have deep rooted, marks. Um, the topical ones go away, the deep rooted ones stay. And
Mm.
for me to heal, I have had to talk about it. Um,
Okay.
and I've went to therapy, talked to professionals about it, and I got tired of telling the same story over and over again and going and reliving that. They say that it's healthy. For me, it's not. So, I've really kind of tucked it away, tucked it down and deep inside, and this
Mm.
this faith over fear event really put it on my heart to talk about it, but not talk about it as an open wound. Talk
Mm.
about how I healed from it
Wow, I like that.
and talk about my growth. And the way that I've grown from it is I've been able to live through it, and I've been able to stop that cycle of abuse. I raised my daughter and never put hands on my daughter,
That's
uh, and never gave her the opportunity to question whether she was loved or not. Something that I always questioned. I never wanted to take her happiness away
mm.
on purpose. Something that was taken from me. I always had to question, why this was happening to me,
Mm.
um, and my happiness was taken from me a lot.
Wow.
And I said that from, you know, one of the reasons that I controls your emotions. And if somebody can control your emotions, they control you. The only one that I like to be in control is me
Mm.
and God. So I don't like other people being able to push me to that negative that negative spot, that negative space, because I feel like then I'm losing. I don't
Wow.
like to lose.
Yeah. Is that one of the biggest lessons you've learned from this all?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
Is being able to control my own emotions and not let other people control my emotions.
That's great. I respect that.
I appreciate it.
Of course.
It's a big deal, Ian, being able to come back from abuse, and you can either be a victim or you can be a success.
Mm.
And I never thought about myself as a victim, and I always used it as a way to grow, and it drove me to be a better person. I said I'll never be like, my mother
Right.
ever. And that's why I was able to raise my daughter the way that I did. And, you know, I said at a very young age that if any relationship I am in, it will never be violent.
Mm. That's great.
Um, you know, my girlfriend and I have been together almost 3 years now, and I told her our very first date because it's something I'm super passionate about. It's like we can play and we can have fun and all of that stuff, but the second that it turns violent, I said, if you ever hit me in a way that's not playful, I'm leaving. The very
Wow.
first time.
It's
The
very
very
direct.
first time. It is. It is. That's how strongly I believe in it, Ian.
Yeah, totally.
Because if you want to hurt me physically, that
Mm.
puts me in a predicament.
Mm. Right.
And I left that predicament when I was 14 years old, and I'll
Okay.
never re-enter that.
Good for you.
And it allows me to, again, be in control of my own emotions. And if somebody hits me, it it flips a switch in me, bro. It does. And I don't like reverting. I'm too cute for jail, bro. I'm too cute for jail.
There you go. It's a good way to look at it.
I don't want to go to jail, and I don't want to spend any days locked up that I don't have to, you know.
Totally. Yeah, it's not worth it. That's awesome, man.
You said in your podcast that the guy asked you a question of if you ever did anything just so you could get locked up.
But
And
yeah.
you said no, absolutely not. I don't want to get locked up, right?
Yeah, I'll take a clean record over being a little bit cold any day.
Absolutely. So where
I
did you come from? Where do you live now?
live in Florida now.
Do you? You don't have to worry about being cold too often.
No, it's much nicer here. That's why I think I like it so much because going through all the cold weather throughout the years, I'm like, Florida
Sucks,
is
bro.
warm.
Yeah.
That's nice. And some people in Florida complain about the cold weather here, and I'm like, that's cute.
Yeah, it's 50 degrees.
Yeah, it's 50. That's cute. Try negative
Yeah.
40. And it doesn't matter if you're in Canada or it doesn't matter if it's Celsius or Fahrenheit because it's the same.
Yeah. It's the same bone chilling. Yeah, I've got friends in Montana, and I think last year it was like negative 30 or some shit.
Makes sense.
It something that doesn't even register in my mind, bro.
Yeah. That weather is so cold that it'll freeze your tires to the ground.
So that's a thing.
It's a real thing. I woke
What?
up one day and had to start my car and try and leave, and I was pulling in reverse, and I was like, vroom. It's like,
Not
what is
going
happening?
anywhere.
Like, what's going on? And then I had to turn the steering wheel to the right and turn the wheels to the left, and then I literally broke the ice and was able to leave.
Break the ice. Man, that is wild. So did you take you didn't take hot water or anything, pour them on your tires?
I could have. I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what actually happened is I think what happened is it was warm enough where there was like heat somewhere around the car, like the car had water on it the previous night, and then it froze so much to the point that it
Oh
actually like
yeah.
froze the tires to the ground. It wasn't like cold the entire time.
Right.
Yeah,
Brutal, dude. And what state was that in?
that's in Montana.
Montana.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, makes sense. It is it's brutal out there, land of the Yellowstone.
Yep, that's true.
I haven't been able to get out to Yellowstone yet. It looks pretty. Have you been there?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up around there, so I've had the
Okay,
opportunity to be there multiple times.
pretty rad. It's definitely on my bucket list of places to go. There's probably my grandma told me there's, probably about 10 different spots in Yellowstone that are worth going to.
Mm,
And she said there's about, I don't know, some campgrounds and some things to see out there. It's just I've seen some of the pictures from her, and she was an avid traveler. Her and my grande papa, they were avid travelers, and it kind of gave me the traveling bug.
nice.
Um, and she showed me pictures and just looked so beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
I can't imagine that waking up and being able to just drive to Yellowstone. I probably would be there a lot.
Wow, I can imagine that. Cool. Well, I'm sorry to admit this. So someone just turned on an appliance and that thing's going to be going for probably the next 40 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm probably going to need to end the recording here just because the auditing will get crashed anyway.
Okay.
So thank you again for being willing to do this. I really appreciate you being on here. And I didn't know all of that about your life, but I really appreciate you sharing.
Yeah, Ian, it was great, man. Great to meet you, and hopefully, we can do it again.
Yeah, man, that'd be awesome.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you.
Cool. That sounds good, Matt. I enjoyed talking with you.
Absolutely, you too.
All right. Cheers.
Bye.